Okay folks, we're gonna talk about undercarriage slightly. Just a basic colour. It is its focus. It is its olive drab colour. It requires for its aircraft colour. Most of them they're calling out for silver, but my aircraft had olive drab undercarriage, and we're going to chip it up slightly because in the reference picture I have they're beat up a little bit. So for the silver chipping, I'm just going to use LP11, the same silver as on the back of the aircraft. There's not a ton of chipping as usual. Get your paint, get your sponge. I've done this 1,000 times. A little bit of paint on a paper towel, take an excess off till there's hardly any on there. Obviously more paint you've got on there, bigger chips and more mess you can make, so at the end of the day it's just slightly subtle. Only the reference picture showed the chips are at towards the top of the landing gear. So I don't know how well you can see that on camera. There's only slight wear and tear, but that's all I'm going to go for. That's all I need. Same again. That's it. Don't want to overdo it. There's not a ton of weathering. It's only subtle. Okay folks, I've gone ahead and masked up ready for the blue segments. It's tricky to mask up to try and get its shapes around the back of the tail, and I'm not 100% sure what thickness the stripes are, so I've gone with approximately 6 to 7 millimeters for the blue stripe. We mask up on the edge of the tail. We're also going to spray grey, like a light grey first, and then blue over the top of it. I've also done top of the cowling. Again, we're going to spray grey and then do the blue, because I don't know what it's going to react to the silver. And as for the tail, planes and tail, I haven't done this yet. I tried masking it off and I couldn't get a straight line, so I'm going to do what I should have done in the first place, is sprayed the blue, mask it, and then done the silver. So I'm going to have to reverse myself. I should have done that way originally. So hopefully this works. Okay folks, moment of truth. I'm sorry I didn't film it because I'm scared and I didn't think it was going to work, but the blues come out nicely. This is going to be masked off and then we can do the silver. I should have done that in the first place, like I mentioned. The cowling has come out really well. It's got a nice blue to it, nice shine. It's masked up nicely. And the biggest one of all was the actual plane itself. The tips have come out really well. You just follow the panel lines. These are quite easy to do. And the one that's come out, the one I'm impressed with the most, is this bit around the tail. Is quite tricky to mask up, and it's come out really well. Even the stripe across the back, it's come out way better than I expected, and it's starting to take shape. The underside as well with the blue. So next step basically is I'm just going to let this set, ready for clear coat. Decals, masks can be removed and stuff like that, and it's getting close to being finished. Okay, we're going to start markings now. This is one of the decal sheets. If you don't want to paint on the blue stripes, you do give the option for having them on there. We're going to require these ones here are for your wings. They're slightly larger than these ones. These ones are for the side fuselage. So we need two of these, and the rest of them are for spares if you make a mistake and for the other markings. I like to use a pair of scissors, Tamiya scissors. They're nicely made and you can get an easier cut. Don't want to use a knife because I find a knife can give a jagged edge. So I'm going to work my way straight across. and then we can trim up the rest of them. Okay, second decal sheet is what we require. Again, if you're doing the other markings with the yellow stripes, you can either paint them on or they come in decals. There's more stars and bars required. Ones we need is all of this segment down here, so we'll just cut this out. Most of this is stencil dayler is what we also need, but obviously bear in mind if you use these decals once, and then if you want to do these other markings that come in the kit, you're going to have to source your stencils and stuff to finish them off. So that technically you can only use one set out of this. So as always, I have my warm water. This is a coffee warmer, keeps the water at a temperature that I like. It's warm enough. As stick your decal in the water, give it a slosh around, let it do its thing. I normally like to wait 10 to 20 seconds. Should be sufficient. Let it settle for a second. Some decals come off quite quickly, some take a while. Now the decal's started to remove from its backing paper. Nice and ready. Not sure if I mentioned in the past, but this is Microsol Crystal Clear and Set. I have these in these paintbrush type things which hold the liquid. It's quick and easy, doesn't worry about contamination of the liquids, and it's nicely done. Okay, once you've got it in location, if there's any excess liquid, give it a paper towel just to dab any excess off, but obviously I've already done that. Then get a cotton swab and roll across, get all air bubbles out, because this is where you can run into issues of silvering. Once that's done and you're happy with its location, go with the set, I think this one is, and just keep plying this. I like to ply this probably about 3 to 4 times at least. This will start to wrinkle and crease and make a mess. Don't touch it at that point, because that's when you can make the decal split, crack, and just mess it up completely. So again, liberal coat all over the decal. And I have noticed in the past you will get some kind of bleaching or tide lines around the decal. Is from the solution. Don't worry about that. When you clear coat over the top, every time I've had no problems. It's always just cleaned it up, and it looks like it's painted on. And so we're going to result to doing the other side, which should be reversed. So if I flip the aircraft over completely, it would be this wing, and then we've got the two sides. Okay, our next step is to give the aircraft a complete wash. We're going to use Flory's washes. We can use the grime. Give just a good old shake to get the loose clay base wash mixed up. Get some on your mat. That's what I like to do. I don't really like putting the brush into the bottle, because just in case you contaminate the bottle. And then basically load up your brush. Load said aircraft. This has been clear coated, and the decals have gone down nicely now. You want to get your decals down buried as nicely as possible, because if they're slight raised and if the wash gets underneath it, you're going to see it, and it's going to leave a horrible nasty like sharp edge. So basically just completely cover your model all over, decals all over. And what this would do is get all into the panel lines. And then create a worn effect. So like I say, literally everywhere. So I'll come back. Okay, now the wash has had time to dry, and you can see it's all that dusty effect. If you try and take it off too early, you can end up just pulling it off completely and it won't actually do anything. And there's several ways you can do this. You can get a paper towel and you can just start to rub it away. I like to go the way the flow of air, so over the wings it would be this way, up and down, not side to side. If you struggle to get it off, a little bit of warm water will clean it up straight away. Cold water gets it off. You can also just wet the paper towel with your tongue, damp, not completely soaking wet, and then just hydrate it slightly and just go with the flow and clean up all markings. As I say, you can also sand it and it gives it a different look. I don't need that type of effect on this aircraft. And if you get into tight areas, you can use a cotton swab, which you can get into nooks and crannies to clean up and around areas. So we're just going to continue working this. So it gives that dusty appearance. You can take a little as much as you want off. It all depends what type of look you're looking for. So I'm going to continue doing this and I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished.